today's video is going to be a little bit different than my other skateboarding videos. And it's not that there's not going to be skating involved at all. I'm just not going to be able to skate till later. But the point of this video today is we're going to have a little bit of fun and do some, I guess, kind of modifications to something. So you'll probably get the gist of it if you see the title and thumbnail of this video already, but as I'm filming this, I haven't made those yet, obviously. But basically, I have a ledge in my backyard, which, again, if you've seen my videos, you've probably already seen it. The last video that I did with skateboarding was me learning front crooks in my backyard, that ledge, which is the only ledge I have, honestly. Not counting, I do have a curb cover ledge, but I'm talking about it like an actual ledge. Now, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a backstory with it so you kind of understand where my train of thought is and where my intentions are with this, especially with this video. Because I can kind of see that certain videos you guys are into the whole like process and like behind the scenes type stuff. Like, especially with me learning certain tricks, it seems like people were into those things. Like when I was getting re-confident or re-comfortable, I don't even know what word you want to use that, but basically getting reacquainted with skating flat bars again, that whole process. And that was one of my most viewed actual videos, especially with skateboarding. That one got like 2,500 views, which I wasn't expecting. And it seems like you guys are really into that kind of stuff. And especially, not only that one, but my more recent video with me testing out keyframes and editing, that one's been getting a lot of views too. I think that one hit over 1,000 already. So we're gonna do another kind of, not necessarily behind the scenes video, but it's just gonna be more, you guys kind of see a process of something. So basically, we're gonna mess with my ledge and we're gonna skate it later today, but first I'm gonna do some modifications with it. So to give you kind of a backstory of this ledge and where I'm going with this video, I built this thing originally, I wanna say like 9 or 10 years ago. I've had it for a really long time. And the original dimensions, I wanna say it was like 11 inches tall, somewhere in there. I was trying to find a height that wasn't gonna be like too high or too low because I wanted a ledge that I could learn tricks on, but it wasn't gonna be too small to where I wouldn't have fun with my regular tricks. So I'm gonna say it was like 11 inches tall. I can't remember the exact measurements, and I'm not gonna walk outside just to measure it and come back in, go back out again. So roughly about that, but then I know for sure it's 8 feet long and 4 feet wide. And also when I built it, I originally had casters on the back side of it. So that way, whether I was getting it out to skate or going to put it away, all I had to do was tip it up on the one side and I could roll it to wherever I had to go. And I had that thing while I was at my parents' house years ago. So I built that thing so I could have fun sessions and basically have a 2-in-1 deal. So it was a manual pad and a ledge. Now that thing, I've had that for so long. So I built that thing, I'm gonna say 2015, because like I said, I can't remember the exact dates like that. I'm kind of bad with certain dates. But I built that thing that long ago, and then my wife and I met, well, we didn't meet, but we started dating late 2016. We moved out into our first apartment in late 2017. So with that, the ledge had to stay behind my parents' house, and it was stored in there for pretty much 4 years because we got an apartment from 2017 into late 2021 before we moved into our house that we're in now. And once we moved here, I was able to finally get that ledge back. So it pretty much sat in storage for 4 years. I didn't get to get it out, didn't get to touch it, anything like that. And then while it was in storage, because I wasn't able to use it, my parents kind of needed some extra space, so they ended up dismantling it and they kept all the pieces and parts for me because they knew I was going to eventually need it again. So once I did get this house, I was able to get all those parts back and reassemble it. So it pretty much got back to its form of being like the 11 inches tall, 4 feet wide, 8 feet long. And then a couple years ago, or no, it might have been about a year ago actually, I was working at a kind of like a home improvement store similar to like Lowe's and Home Depot, and one of their displays was they had like a display for like composite decking, so you could see the different textures and colors and all that stuff, and they had them in like small sections, and they were getting rid of that display, so they were just going to scrap up all those pieces. And I was able to buy the pieces, which if anybody's bought composite decking, I'm sure you know that that stuff is kind of fucking expensive. It's not super cheap. And I managed to get 10 pieces of like these 3-foot sections for $10 altogether. Because of the fact that they were just getting scrapped out, and they figured, hey, if we can make some money off it, I'll just sell it to you for cheap just to get money off it, you can have them. But, so I took 10 pieces with me, and I'll show you guys a picture of this ledge real quick after the fact, or after I mention this. So I bought these pieces of composite decking because over time with it being in storage, the ledge was getting kind of sticky. So I wanted to kind of make it to where no matter what I was doing, it would slide better. So I kind of did a slight modification with it, which actually I'll just show you guys the picture here really quick. So basically there's it's 3 pieces going along, 3 of them because it's an 8 foot long ledge, and I had 3 foot pieces. So I have 2 pieces, or a piece on the end going 2 wide that are 3 feet, and then whatever's like in the middle, so 2 feet. Or, yeah, 2 feet. I don't know why mine was going there. But that going across the top, and then one side where it's the same thing going across the bottom. And there's different colors because, like I said, it was all pieces from a display at the store. So it was all just getting scrapped out. They didn't really have just one set color. But I was able to kind of match to make it look like a cool pattern. So I did that, and then also added the steel angle iron because originally it was aluminum. So I kept the aluminum angle iron on the one side, so I left that alone, and then I just did it on the back side of it. So then it's got that. So because of that, I did it's kind of like a quick fix too to make it a better skatable ledge. So I didn't cut anything out originally. I pretty much just placed everything right on top of that on that side. So whatever the original height was, and then probably I want to say like extra ½ inch. So that's where my ledge is now, or in the current state it is. So basically where I'm getting at with this video, I know this was kind of like a long-winded introduction, and some people probably don't give a fuck. But if you do, here's the whole explanation and everything. So I originally built those dimensions so I had all that to be able to skate at home. But with where I live now and where I keep it, I pretty much keep it under a tarp outside all year long. And before anybody says anything, yeah, I know pressure treated plywood and lumber would probably be more ideal. I can't afford that, and I don't get to skate this thing enough to really care that much. It still works after all these years. It's fine. But yeah, with me living where I live now and where I keep it and where I usually skate with it, I can't put casters on the back to roll around. So I'm pretty much picking up this heavy ass ledge by myself because it's like 3/4 plywood on the top of that, plus all the 2x4s, and then now including all the composite decking and the steel angle iron on the one side. So this thing's kind of heavy. And I was thinking about it for a while, and basically what I'm gonna do, so I'm still gonna have a ledge and a manual pad. There's gonna be 2 different obstacles. But what we're gonna do today, and like I said, we are gonna skate it later, so don't worry. But the goal for today is we're gonna go outside and I'm gonna partially dismantle it. I'm not gonna take the whole thing apart. What I'm intending on doing is keeping the height and the length the same because I want that. But to make it easier to move around and store and everything, so I'm not like killing myself over it, instead of it being 4 feet wide on the top, we're gonna cut it back to 2 feet wide. So it'll still have like the slight height difference because of the composite decking on it, but instead of it being 4 feet wide, it'll be 2 feet wide. So it'll still be a good ledge. It'll just be a lot easier for me to maneuver around, slide around, because I mean, again, where I live now, I can't really use casters. I'm pretty much keeping it on a deck, so there's like all the different grooves between the boards, so casters would just get stuck, and sometimes it's kind of a pain trying to slide it and spin it around, depending on if I'm trying to skate it frontside or backside and feeling it get caught in the grooves. So we're gonna cut it down so it's 2 feet wide only. Whatever I have left, I'm gonna convert into a manual pad, a smaller manual pad. So it's probably not even gonna be like ½ a foot tall. And I'm gonna keep the original angle iron, the aluminum, and just keep it on the side of that. So I technically have a smaller ledge if I really wanna learn a trick on it, and my other ledge is just too tall to figure it out on. So what I'm probably gonna do, I actually have more plywood, like random 2 foot by 4 foot pieces, which again, if you see my videos, it's the ones I usually land on in my grass. And I'm gonna use 2 of those sheets for the top because they're already 2 feet wide. So we're gonna just cut back the 2x4s and keep the end the same and just bring it in, re-screw everything, put everything down, good to go. And then I'm gonna try to use whatever I have left to make a smaller manual pad. Because 1, obviously I still have the manual pad, but 2, because of my deck in my backyard. Learning that front crook, like a couple weeks ago, whenever that was now, was kind of hard. That deck was already there before we moved in, and that thing has been there since this house has been here pretty much. And our old neighbor, who unfortunately passed away a few months ago, he actually, from what I was told, he actually had a hand in building the deck back there. So it's all just nails, there's no screws. But the deck is so old that it's got spots where it's like warped a little bit, so it's not just even. And so the nails slightly come up too. So there's been times where like I'm trying to skate and like I miss my pop or it just doesn't feel right. So what I'm gonna do is have this manual pad that will also double as a runway, so I can set it down on top of the deck and have a flat surface to ride along before I hit the ledge. So, sorry if that seemed really long-winded and unnecessary, but I figured if anybody wanted a backstory for this video, there it is. So, I have her down for a nap, or I have my daughter down for a nap, because basically while she's asleep is when I'm gonna work on this, and then I'll finish working on it later if I need to. But we're gonna do this while she's asleep for a little bit, cut it back as much as we can, and go from there. So let's go. Got a circular saw, my 2 sheets of, well, the 2 sheets I'm gonna use that are 2 foot wide by 4 feet long, extension cord, screwdriver, drill bits, extra screws, speed square, and my screw gun over there. So we're gonna get to work, but my ledge is currently out there tarped. So I'm gonna pull it out, untarp it, and go from there. But because this is probably gonna take a while, we're just gonna do a time lapse. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and we'll go from there. Alright, so off camera I had to start a little bit of the assembly, but I don't even have all the screws in yet, so I'm going to set my tripod up over there and do some more time lapse. Alright, the grand reveal. These might look a little bit like a bench on the back. We're done. Alright, so it's been a week since I redid my ledge, and I didn't end up skating it. I just really wasn't feeling it afterwards. By the time I was done, I just wanted to go relax in my house in the AC, get some dinner, hang out with my wife and kid. I was going to try to skate one other time after that. That just didn't work out either. So that brings us to today. We're going to go check out a park that's one that I haven't been to before, like an hour east of me, but it's all like metal prefab stuff. The design and layout actually looks really cool, like the obstacle choice. So I want to kind of go there and just see how it is. But before we do that, I'm going to do some like small exercise kind of stuff to help me hopefully feel good for the day. And I've been trying to get in a routine of doing this kind of stuff because I used to do like yoga and stuff a long time ago, and it helped a lot. And just due to life and, you know, obviously getting married, having a kid, having a full-time job, it's kind of hard to get into a routine if you kind of fall off. So what I've been trying to do is do 15 minutes on a balance board and then 15 to 20 minutes of like yoga and stretches. And that combination in that order seems to be helping a lot recently. So we're going to do that before I leave. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of that, and then we're going to go head out and hopefully get some cool clips out of this place. All right, we're gonna be heading out here in a minute. I just gotta grab a couple things, grab a bite to eat. But I wanted to show you guys something I was working on. It's not something super crazy, but it's been fun for me to do, and I'm still in the process of it right now. But pretty much there's 3 old Punisher decks that I've been holding on to. They're ones that I've already skated and they're worn down a little bit, but they're still usable. But I've been holding on to them just on the off chance if like I broke boards and was waiting for more to come in. So that way I can still set something up and skate until I got new boards. But there's 3 boards. I sanded down the graphics and just been kind of having fun with them. There's one that I'm still in the process of like painting and having fun with. One I got a clear coat, and the other one I've already clear coated. I might put another layer on, but I might just say fuck it because whatever. But I'm gonna show that to you guys really quick. So this one I'm still kind of having fun with. Pretty much, this is like an old random pattern I used to do like when I was in high school. Like I would draw this kind of stuff like on folders. Pretty much just whatever color you do, you just do the opposite rectangle and you just kind of keep going until you're done. I might scratch this off. I might paint this white on these 2 sections first and then do that on those 2 sections and then trace out the Punisher logo in the middle here. But the other two that are pretty much done are these two. So this one just needs clear coat. This one I've already clear coated, so I'm going to bring this one with me today, just on the very off chance that I break a board today, because I'm going to be getting some more boards soon, but I'm on my last one right now. So I was just doing this for the time being. But this board is pretty much all done by hand. So this was all done with painter's tape. Like that logo wasn't even in the middle. So this whole thing got sanded off. I took painter's tape and just did random lines and then painted this whole thing blue. And then once it dried, I cut out pretty much a piece from a box that had like Punisher trucks in it, cut it out so I could use it like a stencil. So that's all Sharpie in the middle there. And then I just traced all the lines here. And this one's clear coated and ready to go. I did kind of fuck up a little bit. Like, I meant to extend this line out here, and there's a spot there where I never traced it over. So there's a couple like minor ones, but that board's done. This one, the logo was already there. I just went around it in Sharpie, drew this design. This is another one where I would just kind of have fun on like folders and stuff like that and draw these random shapes. So I did that, and then I took a stain and went over it. So that one's almost done. I just got to clear coat it. But yeah, we're gonna bring this one with me today just in case I break my board. I'm supposed to be getting another board sent out pretty soon, so I should have something new to skate in future videos. But for now, we're gonna have this one and then a Dr. Plague deck that I'm currently skating right now. So this is actually a really sick looking park. The only thing that sucks is I drove an hour. I got pissed so bad and I don't see a restroom anywhere and there's other people nearby. So yeah, I gotta hunt down somewhere to do that first. Okay, so I found a bathroom, but the problem is I gotta hike all the way back to that point. All right, so we made it back up. I think at first glance, I'm gonna say at least 7 out of 10. Because there's cool little like obstacles off to the side too. But the layout's pretty sick. And a couple other like little random things that we can skate to. But yeah, I think we can just sort of set my tripod up in some random spots and see what we can film. I think next thing's gonna be this like little ledge thing that's right here. So we'll start in the knee section and then go to the next one and just kind of work from there. Quick. So quick, trying to hop on the little one and go right up. It's sticky, but I don't feel like going to get waxed. We're just gonna make it work. So there's ledges and stuff, but there's not like a real manual pad. So we're gonna use the bottom of the mini ramp as a manual pad and get a couple. All right, so let's do this manual across the bottom of the mini. I think it's time to actually move on to the mini. But I think what I'm gonna do is just set my tripod up on this side, and we'll do some tricks on probably mostly the smaller one, but we might try a couple things on the extension. So weird, just coping doesn't like stick out that far. Oh shit. Yeah, it like barely sticks out, so it's not like a good lock-in. All right, we're not done yet. It's just, oh, I don't know how accurate my car is, but this is 94 degrees outside, so I just want to sit in some AC for a minute, get some water, and then we'll go back out and try a little bit more. But so far, I would definitely give this park at least like a, I think like 6 or 7 out of 10. It's not a bad park. I just wish they had a little bit more variety, but I mean, the ramps, I thought they would be like the metal ramps. You see it, some free prefab. Wow, I can't fucking talk today. Like prefab parks, but no, this is actually all solid and the ground's really smooth. I just wish they had an actual manual pad with like a wider ledge, maybe a round flat bar, and I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 9, but not a bad park.
Order some. Yeah. Good job.
That was so sick. All right, so that was a fun time here. Oh, there's deer over there. But I had a fun time with this park. It's a really sick place. I'm definitely planning on coming back at some point soon, but my phone is literally on 1%, so I'm gonna end the video there. But thank you guys so much. I'll check you in the next video.